to drop some knowledge on about how to get your coaches started right and that they are in that process of getting started. And so, without further ado, go for it.
All right. Do we want to mute, or do we want to leave it open? Mute.
I'll mute everybody. I'll mute everybody.
Great. So if there's this I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So basically, starting off, whether you have one coach starting or if you have 10 starting at the same time, we want to get this system down to make it as simple as possible, because we all have work to do. We're all working full time. We all have other commitments, and we just don't want to have to wait until the hour we get home at night to be able to catch up with things. So, I started getting my coaches off with doing this like stupid Excel spreadsheet. And, at the time it worked awesome because I had 7 coaches that wanted to start at the same time. And what I use is like a 6-day step. Let me show you guys that before we go even further, because I feel like some people may not even know what this looks like. So it would help if you knew what it looked like. What I called it is the Quick Start 2015. So basically on day 1, and when I start a coach off, I'm just sending them day 1. I'm not giving them the entire six days, because it's overwhelming. When you start off being a coach, there's so many things to learn, and you just don't want to have them throw in the towel like right off the bat. So day 1 is basically welcoming them into Team Project Fearless. I have my own personally sponsored page, so I have them started in there as well. Some of you may be just like Emerald coaches, some of you may be just starting off, but most likely one of your upline coaches has a personally sponsored page where it's more of like a classroom setting. Project Fearless is all about announcements, recognition, but really in this personally sponsored page, you want to focus on like the vital behaviors that we should be practicing like every single day. And it's just reminding people of that in like a small setting of like 10 versus, over 100 now. I don't even know how many people. So, day 1 is welcoming them into those groups. It's having them send you their goals. It's having them watch the orientation video, which is right here. It's having them bookmark the mobile enroller on their phone, but then it's also having them jab on Facebook right away. Day 1, they should be posting. They're not even going to realize it at first, but their kids, their food, in day 1, I think it's important to get those jabs in. And I tell them right off the bat that we'll learn about that later. Just start now. So once I private messaged them day 1 and they told me they completed it, they sent me their goals, then I move on to day 2. And every coach is going to be different. It may not happen that they complete day 1, day 2, day 3 right back to back. There could be like a week span in between. That's okay, because every coach is different. And when I was organizing this, when I had 7 coaches start at once and everybody was at a different stage, I had to keep track of that, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, how I kept track of it. But I just want to continue, just because I know some people aren't familiar with this, and I will share this in the group after so everyone has access to it. But day 2, you're looking at the coaching codes, and I give an actual like 30-second tutorial, I guess, on how to use coaching codes. And it looks different now than it did a couple weeks ago. I can't remember when they updated it, but I redid one of those videos this past weekend. So, I highlighted here, you're tagging them in the conversation template, whether it be in Project Fearless or whether it be in your personally sponsored Upline's coach page. You have to do your part on all of this too. So day 3 is making sure your profile picture is right. You know, your cover photo reflects your brand. You're watching the Find, Share, Invite video, which is awesome. You're also watching the branding video. And day 4 is when we start creating, so we're going to post their first hook. So day 4, they've already been jabbing for 3 days. So they've already built up their edge rank, so more people will see it when they make their first hook. And you work with your coach on this first hook too. You go back to their why, you go back to their goal, and then you use the apps, and I list them here: Word Swag, Pic Collage, to make their first hook impactful and to get a lot of likes on it. And then day 5, we're teaching our coaches how to reach out to all those people who liked it. So I'm giving examples here of, depending on the hook itself, these are 3 examples of what you could write to every single one, everybody who has liked the post or commented. So that builds those conversations already. And then you work with them by ghosting, we call it sometimes. Copying and pasting exactly what they're saying at the moment they're saying it, so you can respond back and they can follow that whole flow of the conversation template. And day 6 is really just learning about Emerald Rank and Success Club and the importance of that, and setting an actual goal to make Emerald. So I have them send that to me, and then I keep track of it in my personally sponsored page as well, like their goal date and their why. Now, super duper quick start. I don't recommend this, but this has come across a couple times where all of a sudden a coach that I just signed has 2 friends that they want to sign up immediately. So I send them, the quick super duper start, and I tell them right off the bat that I don't like doing this. We need to go back to the basics after, but in order to sign up their friends right then and there, I send them a quick, set up your direct deposit, learn the mobile enroller, and, let's sign your first coach and make sure your placement is good so you make Emerald. If you're signing 2 people in an hour after you first sign, because I've had that happen before. So this is basically, in a nutshell, the first 6 days. And like I said, every coach is different. I could have a coach do this all in one weekend. I could have another coach take a month to do this. So don't get frustrated on everyone's kind of thought process and all this. Some people just want it more than others, and you get a lot of what they're saying when they tell you their goal, and they tell you their why. And you can ask more questions when they say that. If they say they want to make $200 in the first month, then you ask them, what would that do for you? What would $200 extra do for you? You try to go down deeper to figure out, to be able to go back on that later and to remind them of that. All right, so now that we know that, I'm going to show you how I keep track of this. And if you haven't got Evernote, I highly recommend it. I just jumped on the bandwagon probably a month and a half ago, maybe, I'll be honest. And I don't use it till its full potential by any means. But so here's a quick look at what my Evernote looks like. It's simple. It's challenge groups. I have notebooks that have challenge groups. And then I have coach training. And then I have my coach stuff. So I'm going to go back to what I was showing you before, because I don't want to get off track here. All right, so remember what I showed you. I showed you the 6 days that I'm sending people. So this is a quick snapshot of day 1. So if I don't want to actually have to read it every day, because I'm in the middle of things, like I'm doing this on the fly all day long. I just sent them day 1. So the red part is what I need to be doing. So I should have welcomed them into the team page. Like, that was my part. The rest is theirs. If they say, if they've completed it, then I send them day 2. Again, in red is my part. I need to tag them in the conversation template. If I'm putting this on them to finish, I need to do what I'm doing as well before we can move on to the next day. If they say they're done day 3 and they've done their profile picture that's just them, it's not their dog, it's not their kids, their cover photo, it's not just like a scenery picture, I need to make sure that they actually did this. I need to go to their page, make sure their profile picture's them, make sure their cover photo is like their brand, a collage. Day 4 is their first hook. So I didn't make that in red, but yeah, I kind of work with them. They they would send me their first hook before they post it, and I say yay, nay, change this, change that, and then it's done. Day 5, I gave them examples. They're sending out to all their people, thank you for liking my post. It's been quite the journey, whatever we say here. But then I help them reach, have that conversation back and forth to really get the flow of it. And then day 6 is just, they're watching the video on how to be Emerald. They're watching the video on why it's important to make Success Club, and then we're setting that goal date together. So Lori may be on the call. I'm not sure. I hope they don't mind that I'm using them. But, Lori she just started. I check off the days. So she's completed day 1. She's completed day 2. She's working on day 3 right now. And when she says she's done, I'll just check it off. Because it's just easier for me to keep track of it this way. Everyone's different. Everyone's going to find their own way. But this is what works for me right now. And, someday it may be different, but if I can just come in here and, on my phone too, because this Evernote, the app is on your phone. So if I'm somewhere, and Lori messaged me back, say, I'm done day 3, awesome. All right, I'm going to send you day 4, and I'm going to check off day 3 because you're done. So, and then I have their Ys here too, just to be a reminder, and then I'll put their Emerald date in. So that's basically that in a nutshell. Joan, I don't know if you wanted me to kind of go over Evernote, what I use it for, or I use it for challenge groups a lot because I have one more part that I wanted to go over as far as coach training before I move on to that. So I've created, where are they? So what I've realized this is sometimes, if people have a question about direct deposit, if they can't quite figure it out, and I'm not available to be able to jump on a Zoom call with them, I've created these like 30-second videos on how to do it. And I can share this with all of you guys after if I've had to use it a few times. I just posted a short video on how to do it on Facebook. On YouTube, sorry. How to change your placement real quick. If I have a coach that just signed one coach and I'm at work, or if I'm out somewhere and I can't get on a Zoom call with them to show them, because they've probably watched it in the orientation video. We all have, but the orientation video is a half-hour long, so they may have a hard time going back to that short little spot where they need to learn how to change their placement. So if they just signed a coach, I would just send them the short video on how to switch their placement to their left or whatever, or their right, whatever they need to be, just to make sure that next coach goes in the right spot. I've also had a couple questions come up with the mobile enroller, like how to modify if you've submitted already an email and they want to change like their flavor of Shakeology, or if they want to change their program. it's just like a 45-second video of how to do that, like basically how to use the mobile enroller. You know, like a 45-second video on how to use coaching codes, like that you just need your coach ID and you just need your username to get all those custom links. I also did one on your sponsorship drill down and how to keep your ducks in a row on Wednesday night, just so they can learn it, so they can teach their people how to do the same thing and to keep track of that. So these little short videos, you know, they aren't more than a minute long, so they just kind of get down to it, and they've kind of worked on the fly for me, again, because I can't just jump on a call at any moment. So I can share all this with you guys. And Joan, do you want me to go over? You're like an expert at Evernote. I feel like I don't even use it till the full potential.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is awesome. It's an awesome call, and I think that everybody got a lot out of that. So Evernote, you can go over it if you'd like to. You know, I think it's helpful to use, and I think it's helpful to have on you because everything is there, like she said, on your phone. And I use it for, I mean, I have so many notebooks in there with different notes in them. It's kind of crazy. But at the same time, I don't know if I've made the announcement to all of you guys that I'm actually building a website. So teamprojectfearless.com, and it'll have different sections. So one of them in particular will be training, and it'll be all the different training tools that we have created for our coaches. So whether it be those groups that we've been doing, instead of having the groups, the training will actually just be in there, and it has all the steps. So when somebody's done, they need to come to us for the password for the next steps and the next training group. And the other thing that we're going to have in there is like a coach toolbox. So in that toolbox, we'll share things like this, for instance. So, you know, video training tips, like all the videos could be in there for that. The printables for like the power hour, or for, you know, the gap activity tracker will be back there. Basically, it'll have, you know, sections. There'll be a challenge group section. So the first part of the challenge group section, just the homepage, will talk about, you know, what a challenge group is and how to get it started. And then there'll even be like links in there too for trainings on, you know, how do you create your cover image? How do you create a Facebook group? How do you run your groups? All that sort of thing. And then different guides and stuff. So I would love for you to share any of the notes that you have in here that you think would be helpful for people and put them in the files section. Because what I'd like to do is start creating, you know, taking the files out of the Project Fearless files section and moving them over into this organized area where everything will be much easier for everybody to access and to find things.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so can we all access these Evernote pages? So Christine, Meg will have to share them, but she can share them right into the Facebook group in the file section. Evernote's awesome that way as well, because it's really easy to share entire notebooks and individual notes themselves with people. So, I mean, if you want to go over a little bit, Meg, just because, I mean, the site isn't up yet, and I think in the meantime, it's good to have this going and have everything here. And, you know, there'll probably still be a time, like, you'll probably still want some of your stuff in this even when the website's up, just for ease. But one of the things that I also do in Evernote that I don't know if you do, Meg, is that I took all of my links, all of my customized links that I had through coaching codes, and I created my own list so that I have them all there at a moment's notice. I can grab them, because coaching codes doesn't work on your phone, and coaching codes is a pain in the butt, and it takes a lot of time. So having these all, you know, saved somewhere for yourself, exactly, using Tiny URL. Mine's broken down actually by like trainer, and then like the most popular programs I share from them, so I can just go whoop and go, okay, I'm looking for this, to grab it. But yeah, so like that.
I'm just running upstairs real quick. I need my battery. Hold on. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
movies. The person always does.
So while Meg is away, why don't we, I can't move her screen, but what I can do is unmute you all, or if you want to just start asking questions, you can unmute yourself. Does anyone have questions?
So are we doing I like the day 1, day 2 kind of layout for that. So it's just like, how often are you checking in with them to see if they're done? Or is it just like their responsibility to be like, hey, I'm done?
It completely depends on the person. I have somebody who's kind of taking things slow, so I maybe check in, like I checked in today to see if she was done with day 2, but I had sent her that 4 days ago, and she said she was going to do it that night. So I kind of get a feel for the coach. And I have another coach that's gung-ho, wants to do bam, 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 bam. So I more check in with her every day. But you're going to know whether your coach is for it or not, because they're going to be the ones that are initiating it, you know?
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think in the beginning, it's really important to recognize those. You know, I created the orientation video for a reason. The reason I created the orientation video is because there were so many times where I was jumping on a Zoom call with somebody and spending like an hour, hour and a half going through the back office with them, answering their questions, showing them how to set up the direct deposit, showing them how to set up their profiles and doing all that jazz. And then I'd never hear from them again. And I was like, well, that was an hour and a half of my time gone. And so now with this, it's like, you know, I send the orientation video out. It's up to them to watch it and to get back to me and say, okay, I'm done. You know, so then I can be like, okay, great, here's the next step. And then when they're done, so it's immediately putting that coach in charge of their business, and you're not, you know, yes, you're hand holding, but you're not dragging them along. They have to want it, and then you know, and not to say that not all coaches deserve my time, but you know who deserves your time, you know, so that you're not constantly wasting your time going, hey, did you do that? Hey, did you do that? Hey, did you do that? Hey, do you want to do a Zoom call today? Hey, do you want to get on there and talk today? Hey, do you want me to help you with your business today? You want me to help you do your conversations today? That is a waste of time. They have to want it for themselves. And this is a really good way for them to show you that, like, it's my business. I know it's my business, and I'm taking responsibility for it. And, you know, they have to give just as much responsibility as you do. So the document that Meg has in here called the Coach Quick Start, it was originally called the I Run, You Run. So basically it's like showing your coaches, like, I do a little work, like, then you do a little work, you know, and I'll run as fast or as slow as you want to, but you got to run with me. I can't just be running by myself and dragging you behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
Those
ever,
words right there too.
do you ever just ask, like, I feel like I'm dragging people out right now. So I don't know if I should just ask, like, how much do you want me to keep you accountable? I feel like I need to do that for my challenge groups as well. But, like, is that a legitimate question?
Yeah, it is. And Chris Reed will tell you to do that all the time too. He'll say, I literally straight up ask them, when you disappear, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to contact you and push you and keep contacting you? Or just wait for you to come back? You know, so that's absolutely legitimate question to ask, you know, if you're in that situation where you feel like I'm dragging this person.
Yeah. Meg, are you going to share that? I have this one, I think, from the Diamond Group, but is there the one that has the buttons on it, the checkoff buttons? Can you share that one too, please?
I can share that one too, yep.
Thanks.
And I've kind of tweaked this one, the quick start, even in the past like week. So I will share like the newest one that I've used.
Okay.
Super duper helpful, Meg. I appreciate you sharing that.
You are welcome.
It got my brain moving, so it's like, it's good. Dude.
What I've also been doing with my challenge groups, if your Evernote doesn't look like this, which I've run into that a few different times, I am on the beta version. So if you go to your account settings it's going to say go back to old version. This may look, hold on, let me just go back.
Yeah, is this the free account? That's what I was wondering because mine doesn't look like this.
Yeah, this is just like so this is what, yeah, it's free, but it's just a different setting. So you're going to want to go into your account settings and change it to beta, because then you have the ability to, like, it's like a work chat type of thing, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. So see, it says get beta right here.
Yeah, it's popped up a couple times on mine.
Yeah. So switch it over to that. It's going to take a little bit to get used to it, just like a setting thing. But with challenge groups, it's a huge help because, you know, most of the time when I run a challenge group, I'm running it with a few different coaches to get them off the ground. So it's an easy way to go in here. So we have a 21-day challenge going on right now. So if you click this, these are all the posts. So I've kind of like pre-made them, but I sent this to, you can share it. So somehow here. So it's like a chat type of thing. So if like Beth, for example, if I want to send her this so she can edit and invite herself, it just sends it to her, and then she can have it right there on her Evernote. And she can come in here and, you know, pick the, hold on, let me scroll down. So like here are my coaches, they put in their names here on different days. So then I know that those days are taken care of, like they will post it. Some of them will come in here and put in, you know, the actual posts that they'll post beforehand, but some of them don't. They just know that they have to post and they post it. So it's an easy way to spread the workload on challenge groups. We also have a multi-challenge group running too. So we have 2 going right now, and everyone just kind of grabbed different days. So that's kind of worked for us, and it's easy to share and invite new coaches to sign up for days too. So that's how I use Evernote. And again, changing it to that beta version allows you to share this so people can edit it. That's one of the big differences. Before I was sharing stuff and people could see it, but they couldn't do anything with it, you know? So this allows you can share it so they can just view, or you can share it so they can edit over here. And it just...
You should be able to edit it with the non-beta version. Am I on mute?
Mine, I have to, like, whenever I save anything from Joan, I have to, like, save it, and then I have my own version.
Yeah.
Save it, and then you can edit it. You can't just edit it from the shared version.
Right. So this way you can all see your edits. You're all working off the same thing.
Hey, have you noticed with beta, do they ever allow you to go back, like say you accidentally deleted something? Because that's something that you can't do in the regular version that drives me bonkers.
I don't know. I haven't had that happen yet.
Oh my God. So like when you're on your phone and you go to like copy like a post for like, you know, your diamond group or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
go to like copy it and you hit the wrong thing and it like deletes the whole thing.
Oh, yes.
Like, you can't get it back. And so luckily the other day when I did it, it was an Evernote that I'd already shared with Julie Fowler. So I was like, Julie, send me the original version.
Yeah. There's no edit undo, I don't think.
No, there's no backward. That's the only thing that's, you gotta be careful. Don't accidentally delete crap.
Yeah, it's a black hole.
Yeah, it's a good call. I wish there was a way to save that completely.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll take our chances for now. Don't screw it up. No, I'm just kidding.
You're on your own.
Don't screw it up. All right. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Meg, for sharing that with everybody.
You're welcome.
We're right on schedule. It's been 30 minutes. So that's fantastic. I'll let everybody get out there and start reaching out and hitting, you know, diamond. Unless there's any other questions. No, we're good.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, thanks,
Welcome.
Meg. Everybody, have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night, guys.